Establishing traceability in automotive projects is very important. For example, when we encounter a user requirement, we want to know if this customer requirement has been internally analyzed, such as whether it has been associated with system requirements. At this time, we can see its association in the customer requirements related perspective view. Here we can see the system requirements. Of course, checking the associations one by one in this way is relatively inefficient. We can also check in this way, for example, to inspect whether each customer requirement is associated with system requirements. We can see that they are all associated. Through this method, we can also check its traceability. However, sometimes the problem we face is that we want to know whether all the system requirements in the system are associated with the corresponding system architecture or system functional testing. So, clicking through to check their traceability becomes inefficient. For example, I want to check the traceability of all system requirements. Therefore, in MappingSpace, in the Dashboard section, we provide an additional feature called the vModel Panorama. From this panorama, we can see that the association degree of user requirements for the system requirements in the current project is 2.53%. What does 2.53% mean? It means that in this project, 2.53% of the system requirements are associated with customer requirements. Which ones are not associated? At this time, we click on this number and can see that there are 77 system requirements that are not associated with user requirements. Let's test it. We can see this is a system requirement, but it is not associated with any customer requirements here. If we now associate it with a user requirement, we can see that it is now associated with a system requirement. We go back to the data report page and refresh it. We can see that it was around 2% before, and now it has become 3.79%, which means that there is one more system requirement covered. We click in again and can see that ADP 12 no longer appears in this position. This is how we can easily check the association situation in the entire project and easily know where the association is 100%. For example, in this place, we can see that all customer requirements have been analyzed by our internal system requirements and have been properly associated. If we want to produce such a chart, our premise is that we need to configure the vModel in the system. So we need to enter this page. We can see that we are currently configured according to the standard automotive industry scale model, from customer requirements to system requirements, system architecture, software requirements, software architecture, software design, and corresponding test cases. Of course, customers can also configure according to their own needs, such as some customers only do the software vModel, so they may not need these, so these can be removed. At this time, when we look at the data reports vModel, we will find that there has been a change here because we no longer need to check the traceability of the system side, so we only need to check the traceability of the software side. This is the support provided by MappingSpace for querying the coverage of the vModel. It can greatly reduce the burden of the team preparing a SPICE hard audit materials and can also be used for internal self-inspection by the team. So when the team finds that a certain software architecture is not traced to the software requirements, they can find the corresponding software architecture and establish a relationship with the corresponding software requirements in time. Thank you.